Hello everybody. It's about 3 o'clock here on the East Coast. About an hour left in trading before the holiday weekend. Quick level 2 tutorial on LOCM. I've been very busy today. I'm sure a lot of you have as well. I've got a little watch list over here because I'm watching a couple of my trades right now. I'm in all three of these. These two I'm not too happy with. So we'll see how that goes while I do this video. Hopefully it goes well. Maybe we get another squeeze on LCM. You can see it squeezed right here. This is a 1 minute chart representing today's price action. Here's the level 2 that I'm going to talk about. All right, so typically in in my E-Trade Pro account, I'll have a couple of level 2s open, a chart, a couple of watch lists on one page. You can run 4 screens on E-Trade Pro. On screen 2, I'll have a dozen watch lists with various price ranges, 25 to a dollar to $1.50 or $1 to $2, etc. So you can set that up how you want. The windows are really easy to adjust. You can see I just pull that left and right, so you can really set your E-Trade Pro platform up however you want. For the purpose of this video, all I'm going to talk about is this right here. The level 2, you've got the bid side and the ask side. Typically buyers are on the bid, sellers are on the ask. You can buy on the ask if a stock is moving really fast and you just want to get in, and you can buy on the bid. But the bid is kind of like an amusement park ride. If you put your order here on the bid and you put it in right now, you're going to go to the bottom of, or the back of the line, I should say. So the bid is a good place to buy because you get in lower than the ask where you could sell, and playing that difference alone allows you to make money. But again, you have to wait to get in on the bid. These represent sellers, so if you want to take their shares, you put an order in at 441, it'll fill you right away typically. So it's just a matter of what the urgency is with regard to a stock. Okay, so the bid is buyers, the ask is sellers. So right now there are a lot of people bidding 440. That means there's good support at 440. Okay, so if we go over to the chart, we can draw a line on the chart and say, okay, there's 440. We can see that there's good support there. Okay, that's where the buyers are lined up. The orders aren't huge. These represent the number of shares that they're willing to buy. Okay, the larger the number of shares, the better. On the ask, you can see that there's a couple of people, wanting to sell at 441, then 4 people wanting to sell at 442 and 443. So if you hear me say there's a wall at 443, it's because there's a lot of sellers at 443, and that represents resistance. So let's go over to the chart and see where 443 is on the chart. And it just so happens that the price action after the dip right here is at 443. So you can see that resistance right here from this price action candle. All right, and people want to sell right there because they think maybe it won't go higher than that. Now, the bid support is good at 441. It jumps price real quick, and now you can see that the new bid support, if you wanted to buy on the bid, would be 442. Okay, a bunch of sales went through at 442, so it bumps the bid to 442, ask to 443. All right, and now the stock is starting to move back up, and you can see the candle grow over here on the right-hand side. We look down, we look at the volume bar. So here's the squeeze from this morning where I sold 5,000 shares at 448 and emailed everybody. It went out in chat, it went out in text immediately, and it went out in email to follow. So this is what a squeeze looks like, and I'm going to move it to a 3-minute chart. All right, so you see how quick that moves up, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 minutes. It jumps from price of 430 a share to a price of 462 a share. And there's a ton of shorts in this one. With earnings coming out next week, I wouldn't be surprised if it squeezed again Monday or Tuesday. But I may sell today just to play it safe. We'll see heading into the close here. But you can see that 443s are getting bought out now. A lot of people are picking up shares at 443. If it breaks this 443 level, I'd expect it to jump again. All right, because you can see that's the last resistance area before up here. Okay, so that's kind of what I have my eye on. 452 is probably going to be good resistance. 448 is going to be good resistance. Now the level 2 bid and ask, you can scroll down. You see how deep it goes here. I wouldn't be too concerned about that. Usually I only watch the first couple of levels. 442 is, right now support. 443 is resistance, because that's the sellers, remember. This is the buyers. Buyers represent support. Sellers represent resistance, so 443 continues to remain on as resistance. When you see less and less people get on the bid, that means bid support is failing, so 442 is starting to fail. Okay, it's not strong enough to support the number of people that are selling on the bid, because remember you can sell on the bid. So right now if I wanted to sell my 5,000 shares, there is 2,500 available. So my 5,000 order probably wouldn't fill at 442. I could unload 2,500 shares on the bid right now, or roughly that much. And you can see the bid support now is continuing to fail at 442. So the new bid support will probably be at 441. If tons of sellers enter into a stock, this will slip very quickly. When a stock doesn't have good liquidity, that's when you see a big time problem in the bid and ask. Okay, you'll see a gap possibly, maybe $4 by 440, for example. Okay, that gap isn't good. So you want a tight bid and ask, which we have here. And again, we continue to have 443 as resistance and 442 is really weak as support. All right, again, that's easy to see here on the chart. So it's not, real complicated, but it's just important that you understand these are the buyers, and buyers represent support. These are the sellers, and sellers represent resistance. The more sellers there are, the more resistance there is. The more buyers there are, the more support there is. When a stock breaks through a certain resistance area, that resistance area then becomes support. So if it gets through 443 here, what you'll see is 443 will act as support if the stock pulls back. Okay, so that's basically it, and you can kind of see that on the chart here. We got the open up here in the 440 range. It dips down in the 428 range. It squeezes. When it pulls back, look where it holds for most of the day, where it opened. So previous resistance into the early part of the morning. Once it breaks it and it falls back, becomes support, and the stock really trades off of that for the rest of the day. Now, I'm guessing it'll get through 443 into the close here, and it'll probably jump back up into the 448 to 450 range, and I'll probably look to sell in through there. You can see that the bid support just got weaker again. So we lost 442 and we're down to 440. So now this is what people are willing to buy at. And you got a couple of big orders in here. NASDAQ is at, or NSDQ is at 1,500. All right, CINN is at 1,400. So those are some larger, quantities that people are willing to accumulate, and 442 now is resistance, followed by 443 and 444. Like I said, I don't go deep into this chart here because it doesn't really matter. Those orders are too far away. All right, all that matters is what's at the top of the bid and ask, in my opinion, and you just play it likewise, and that should help you trade. So if you have any questions about this tutorial, feel free to email me. I'll do more, but just know that the bid is buyers and you should buy on the bid. The ask is sellers and you should sell on the ask, and you can do either on either, but that's the general principle. Okay, and the bigger the ask is, the more resistance is there. The bigger the bid is, the more support is there. All right, take it easy, everybody. Back to trading.